Hi, this is Jenna.
Hi, and I'm Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. We are still doing our John Titor time traveling adventure, part 4. For a recap, John Titor was a someone who came on the scene, on the internet scene at in 2001. And he was posted all over discussion boards saying that he was from the year 2036. And he was going to the year 1978 to get a Microsoft computer.
IBM.
The IBM 5100. Because he needed it in the future. So he talks about time divergence and how things are different in his future. And a great war is coming, a civil war. He talks about mad cow disease coming. Mm-hmm. Another one that's called CJD, I think is the name of it. He just makes all these predictions. So we're just going through everything, seeing if anything that he said actually came true and who this guy was. Was he real? Is he a hoax? Let's find out. So we left John's discussion board on February 6th, 2001. So this is only a month and a half before his departure. And he continues talking about pretty much the same things during the latter half of this conversation. So like right now we're about the halfway point of the discussion boards that are his comments and answering questions and all that. He's pretty much answering the same questions over and over again because new people are coming to the discussion board and asking the same questions over and over again. So we're just getting little bits of more information here and there. More just about like the similarities and differences from our world to his world or supposed world. He talks about cloning and that he is not aware of them using cloning like against us or even all that often. He does say that they do alter the egg and the sperm to get the desired outcome for the baby. Which they're starting to do that now. I think they do that to make sure that you have a boy or a girl. I'm not sure if they can do the whole red hair, blonde hair, blue eyes.
I'm pretty sure they can.
I think they're really close to that if they aren't already.
No, I think that you can say if you want to have blue eyes or blonde hair or different things like that.
Yeah, you can like go to the store and just buy a baby now.
Mm-hmm.
And with your own sperm and shit, I guess. But, so he also said that due to environmental issues, it's super hard to reproduce and have children in the natural way that we do nowadays. He later says that there's also a lot of stillborns that are born, like not stillborns on his timeline, which is super sad. And that's probably also why they do, cloning and altering the eggs and stuff. So he says that theft is the most common crime, which is interesting because while we do have theft, there's a lot of other common crimes in our timeline. But in his timeline, they do have the death penalty. Oh, okay. So people don't want to murder because they will die. Yeah. They also don't really want any bad attention on them because remember, they will get kicked out of like their little area, their city area, and they'll have to move to a new place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, they're
like shunned.
Yeah, they're shunned. They publicly prosecute. So even if you're not dying, you're literally like, you know, in the town center for everybody to see that you've done something wrong. He says that Canadians are not all like pleasant like they are now. Like when he came here, he was like, oh, they were like really friendly and stuff. Like you guys all depict them as super friendly. But now they're like ruthless and dangerous in the year 2036, according to him. Like
the Canadians?
The Canadians. The nice Canadians do? They're like dangerous. They like kill people and stuff.
Oh gosh.
They're like trying to take over, like they're just trying to like take over. I think they're finally like, okay, we're done being nice here. We're gonna go, like, we're gonna kick some ass and take over your country now. Isn't that weird?
They
like,
must
what the fuck?
be mad that Justin Bieber never moved back.
There's a lot of people that come out of Canada.
I know, but Justin Bieber is my go-to.
So we'll then get this. Australia just does its own thing. If they could, they would do everything by themselves, but they do have to trade with America. They have to trade with somebody to get like the things that they need. So they do trade with America, and they do not are not friendly with China or any of the European, Asian, anything over there. It's only America that they deal with. And
Only
if it was
America.
up to them, they would be like, no, we don't even, just go away. We're on our own little continent. We're happy. Things down under going great, if they even exist. Call back to that episode.
Yeah, because
Does Australia exist?
Is Australia real?
It is Australia real. So he goes on and he says what his motive is, and I'm just going to read it because it's easier that way. So he says that his motive, I've been in your time a bit longer than I had expected. My next opportunity to go home comes in the spring. For most of my adult life, I have read about, wondered, and debated about this time. I value this opportunity to share experiences. If you absolutely believed I was a time traveler with no skepticism whatsoever, then we would be unable to communicate. The focus of our attention would then always be on the machine. The experiences, opinions, and reasons you do things are just as valid as mine and just as different. I hope to return with a better understanding of why you think and believe the way you do. Although I do understand the reasons for asking, I won't gain from any communication with you by spouting physics formulas and pop cultural predictions. Please do not assume I am purposely avoiding questions. I am human, I get tired, and I forget things. Please just remind me if I missed a question and I will get to it. So he has talked about this several times, that he has an interest in the year 2000, like early 2000s. He really likes the music, and he likes just the whole era, just like how
Y2K is coming back.
Yeah,
so.
like just how how when we were younger, what was the 80s, right? Like, and then it went into the 90s, and now we're into the 2000s. Of like everything is back 20 or 30 years. All the fashions that come back, it's always like 20 years later.
And Y2K is coming back right now.
Yeah, we just saw that
time.
the Teen Vogue thing. Teen Vogue, what's it? With the cross, the X, the mashup, the Teen Vogue cross, eBay. They're like getting together.
Yeah, so Teen Vogue partnered up with eBay, and they had a model promoting that it's for sustainable fashion to buy vintage and...
Oh, sustainable. That's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I went onto this little girl's like little website, and her like wish list thing, like her little like bag that she had, or like the little shirt. The shirt was like $500.
Well, because it's vintage.
The little bag. Okay, but like, oh my God. I'm sure that we have that, like, if we go into storage somewhere, we probably have all that stuff. I probably have like $1 million worth of clothes in today's times for Y2K. Like butterfly clips and all that shit. Like, I was in middle school in the year 2000. Like, I was in 8th grade.
It's so weird. I was 21 in the year 2000.
I was in 8th grade. I was going on to my freshman year. Like, that's prime time for, like, fashion. Like, when you're, like, really focused on it all, you know?
Yeah.
But you probably had the better stuff because you had the funds to buy the better stuff. I had the funds to go to, like, Claire's and shit like that.
Well, I was lucky.
I didn't get to go anywhere fun.
I was lucky because at the time, I would just I did have a job, and I did have my own money. So I would just spend my whole day at the mall pretty much, and just bought.
I'm telling you.
I spent all my money on clothes and makeup and nails. I always get my nails done.
Still, yeah. So
to this day.
So he talks about the physics of time travel. So this gets really sciencey, and I'm gonna try to like dumb it down as much as possible because
so I can understand it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because I had to for me to understand it too. So here it is. Are we ready? So the physics of time travel, according to John Titor, is acceleration equals time dilation. So he talks about the twin paradox, which if you don't know about the twin paradox, it's where you could have a twin living on the bottom of a mountain his whole life and 2 miles up in the sky on the top of the mountain their whole life, and they will age at different rates.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the acceleration of aging and the time, even though the same time has passed,
it's different.
It's different. And then gravity equals acceleration. And it has the same effects, gravity has the same effects as the acceleration and time dilation. So the special theory of relativity is the relationship between space and time. And to get the acceleration, to get into the time dilation, you need a very large gravity source. So how would you, so to get the same time travel effects that you do with the twins on the mountain, that's what you need, the very large gravity source. So how do you get that? You have to find it. Constant speed is not acceleration. You have to find the large gravity with a static black hole. So you need to find the static black hole to find the large thing of gravity. It's all so confusing.
You need a black hole?
Almost. You need more than that too. So static black holes provide this type of power. As one twin approaches the event horizon or edge of the black hole, the other twin would watch him as he appears to slow down. He will notice his twin's watch run slower until it stops at the event of the horizon. The twin moving toward the horizon will notice none of this and see his watch running just fine. Although possible, a trip into a static black hole will not take you to another world line, and it's one way. The force of gravity would crush you. So that's not good. No. So we got to get through that.
So that won't work for time travel because you'll just be crushed.
But that is how time travel works. Mm-hmm. So they need to find a rotating black hole in a donut-shaped singularity.
Okay. So
luckily, most black holes are not static, so you won't crush and die. They spin.
Okay.
So if you can get two spinning black holes.
Okay. I'm imagining this like a movie in my head right now. I'm seeing like two donuts spinning.
Yes.
In space. I love it.
Okay. They have two event horizons, and two, the singularity is not a point. It looks more like the donut. And these odd properties also have a pronounced effect on the black hole's gravity. There are vectors where you can approach the singularity without being crushed by gravity.
Okay, that's good.
Perfect. So the donut-shaped singularity is the way to get the passageway into the alternate world line. Mm-hmm. Let's just soak in that for a second because I'm getting a headache.
So the alternate world line.
The other one, yes. The millions of other ones. So you have to go through the donut-shaped singularity. That is how to get there.
To the other
universe or world line. It's almost like a portal.
Like a portal.
A portal to the other timeline.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
So, now the problem begins. Where do we find the donut-shaped singularity?
Can we put on our Amazon wish list or something?
No, you have to get on eBay. Duh. We just talked about this.
It is retro, right?
Yeah.
They're like billions of years old.
Yeah. So don't forget that you need the donut-shaped singularity to get to the passage in the alternate world line. You need the rotating black hole to get to the donut-shaped singularity. But first, you have to find the large thing of gravity by finding the static black hole. It's a fucking maze. Science is fucking hard.
That's why science is so intriguing.
And that is why scientists are so smart.
Yeah.
And make so much money. So, Stephen Hawking proposed that the existence of micro singularities that were created in the Big Bang. So yes, very retro. Stephen Hawking is proposing that they do exist. They have also CERN found a way to, through high energy physics, to make an artificial micro singularity. So if you can't find it, we'll make it.
Oh, with the particle collider.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yes. They will. So John Titor says soon CERN will bring their big machine online, and they will be smashing very fast and high energy particles together.
They're doing that now. They did that during this last eclipse.
I'm wondering if they were doing it before 1999 or 2000 when he came on. I wonder if that was already a thing going on, because how else would they know that like that would be one of his predictions actually coming true, and that would be like a really oddball off one, you know?
Yeah, we haven't done an episode on CERN
No,
yet.
we keep talking about it. We're gonna have to after this. I need to know what CERN is.
Well, CERN is a particle collider.
No, I need to know more.
Yeah.
I want to know the ins and outs, where it came from, why we have it.
I think it's in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere over there.
I think it's in Sweden. Yeah.
So once you get the artificial micro singularity,
oh, they're looking for what they call the God particle.
then that will lead you to the localized Kerr field.
And I think they also study dark matter.
The localized Kerr field.
Curve or
Kerr, K-E-R-R field,
Okay.
will give you the Tipler sinusoid.
Oh, I've heard about the Tipler sinusoid.
So, by using two artificial micro singularities, I mean, it could be normal micro singularities, but we're just making them up as we go. By using two of those in close proximity to each other, it is possible to...
So you just, yeah, we're live.
Are we still live? Hi. I think we're having some difficulties. Sorry, guys.
Technical difficulties. Let me see. Silene. We're having Wi-Fi issues. Okay. Yeah. Now we're good. So sorry.
Yay. Oh my God.
I don't know how that was going.
Okay, so...
if you're watching us, could you hear us? Could you see us? Do you, like, was that working for you? Please let us know in the comments. We could have been talking to ourselves for the last,
16 minutes.
16 minutes.
Okay, and we're back.
Okay.
We're not back.
Just start at the top.
No, I know. I'm going to start at the top, but... My fucking God.
It's going to make for a great
Okay,
reel. My fucking God. Right after we talk about the God particle.
So, by using two micro singularities, and remember, they can be artificial micro singularities in close proximity to each other, it is possible to create, manipulate, and alter the Kerr field to create a Tipler gravity sinusoid. This field can be adjusted, rotated, and moved in order to simulate the movement of mass through a donut-shaped singularity and into the alternate world line, thus safe time travel. So all you have to do is everything I just said, and then we can time travel safely and not get crushed.
Yeah, because we don't want to get crushed.
No. So that is his whole, like, everything on time travel. That's it. So, all right. Moving on. Any thoughts? Do we need to take a breather here and just talk about this for a second? So he goes on to talk. Somebody asked him what kind of people will be the ones least trustworthy, and John Titor said, the people with the most to lose if the world changes. Which I'm like, that's
the
like...
elites or what? The people with the
yeah, the
bunkers?
most to lose if the world changes. So that's like, who would lose the most? Like the president, all the elite people, Oprah. Like they want to stay at the top. They don't want to be brought down. Mm-hmm. If the world changes and flips, they have the most to lose. The Rothschilds.
Yeah, because they have all the power.
Hiltons, all the people, all the money, all of the elites. So, I mean, that's not really prophetic, but it is, like, interesting to think about. Like, those people you should not trust. People in power, people who have the most to lose will do whatever they can to keep and maintain that power. Mm-hmm. Or whatever they have that they don't want to lose. They will lie, they will manipulate, they will cheat, they will do whatever they need to do. Mm-hmm. So, moving forward.
Facts.
People keep asking him questions about music. Like, they're fucking obsessed. Like, what kind of music do you have in 2036? What sports do you play? Like, You have a time traveler from the year 2036 and you're like, hey, who's the pop star this time? Like, what
Nobody
the fuck?
cares.
Yeah. So
Well, obviously they care, but it's only because
like,
they want to be able to like bet on them and like
how are you gonna
make money.
How are you gonna bet on a celebrity?
Well, you're gonna maybe foresee that they're gonna have a company starting. You're gonna put stock into maybe their company, whatever. You know, if they're like
I don't know,
makeup line or clothing or
they
whatever.
weren't even care. Like yeah, maybe that. I don't know.
That's the only thing I
so
can think
weird.
of.
And then they asked like, oh, do you guys still have like baseball? Like they're not asking like, oh, who won the World Series last year? They're just asking like random fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you still have a skateboard? Like, not is Tony Hawk still like skating? Like it's fucking weird.
I'm pretty sure he's retired.
These
now.
people are idiots. He
Tony.
lives in San Marcos. He went to school. His kids went to school with Zane.
I thought he lives in Encinitas.
No, his kids went to San Marcos.
Because my kids met him at the Lucadia donut shop.
I don't know. Maybe he moved. This was also like 8 years ago. Anyways, so
well, he's Tony Hawk. He could have multiple houses. So.
He could. Wasn't Bam Margera had a house in San Marcos too? I think it was one of those people. Anyways,
so.
Then they ask any more on Bill Gates. And he's like, not really, just curious. Why is he such an interest? Because that's another person they keep asking about is Bill Gates.
Well, Bill Gates is a big interest.
In the year 2000, think about when this was done. In the year 2000, what was he doing? He was making Microsoft. Like, he wasn't all into pharmaceuticals and shit like that he is now. So he's all into like vaccines.
He's into
mosquitoes.
He's also into
food, farming, food manipulation,
biotechnology, bioengineering of our food.
So it's very interesting. So he got this one completely wrong because for him to wonder why people are interested in Bill Gates like then and not in the year 2036.
Well, whoever was interested in Bill Gates back then was pretty smart. They had him on their radar, so that's good for whoever those people. They were very aware.
But John Titor, at least on his timeline, nothing ever came about Bill Gates. So he goes on to say that he's scared to come out into the world because he would be poked and prodded by our scientists. He said that
like an alien?
Our year is
like
crazy.
They're gonna study him?
He said that our era in like the year 2000, he's like, this shit's crazy. Like nobody wants to come out and be like, hey, I'm a time traveler, because they're gonna fucking poke and prod him.
I can see that to a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people would have believed him back then, though.
Well, not a lot. So, March 24th, 2001 was his last post.
Wait, what was the date again?
March 24th, 2001.
Oh, okay.
So this was his last post. It's obviously very, very long. He kind of runs through a bunch of questions that people asked him all over again. I've cut out a lot of it because it's a lot of just repetitive shit, and you don't want to hear me talk back and forth to myself for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I do that enough. So this is his very last post that he ever posts, and it says, I will be leaving this world line shortly, and this will be my final post. There are only a handful of people who will know exactly when I will be leaving, and I'm sure they will let you know when I'm gone. In the last few days, I have found your choice of topics quite interesting, and from an objective viewpoint, I think it collectively answers one of your own questions. If time travel is real, where are all the time travelers? In the past, I've stated that, quite frankly, you all scare the hell out of me, and I'm sure other temporal drivers would feel the same. But now I have an expanded explanation of 2 examples. A while ago, on one of these posts, I related an experience I had with my parents while we were driving down a highway. Every now and then, we would pass someone who was in obvious distress with their vehicle. I was amazed that so many people could pass them by without stopping to help. Their explanation was fear. The risk of helping someone was too great, and with today's technology, they probably had a cell phone anyway. Mm-hmm. If they didn't, the walk to a gas station would be good for them and teach them a good lesson of running out of gas. The other example is the plight of the homeless. When you pass them as individuals on the street, I see the way people selectively choose an alternate path to avoid them. Those two examples best define why time travelers do not show themselves. In trying to help you, we put ourselves at great risk, and there's really no point to it. We know the nature of time dictates that traveling between exact world lines is impossible. Therefore, the only results we will see will be the ones we stay to see. Since world lines, outcomes, and events are infinite, we have better things to do. When I arrive in the new 1998 world line on my way home, I could easily start all of this again and continue to go through the same conversations with all of the same people. However, I already know you won't pay it any attention or believe me because we've already been through it on this world line. Besides, I think the walk to the gas station will do you some good. He's like kind of sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. People break down on the side of the road all the time.
And people do not stop out of fear.
Well, not only out of fear, but like I personally don't stop because I'm thinking, they probably have like some kind of roadside assistance.
Cell phone,
they have their
coming,
cell phone.
yeah.
Somebody's on the way. So I don't really, unless they are literally in front of me and their car breaks down. I've pushed cars like to the side of the road
to help
get them out of my way.
Move, bitch! Get out the way.
But then I'm all, there's multiple people there pushing, and everybody's always saying like, "Do you have somebody on the way? Do you have?" And they're, "Oh no, I'm fine. Go. Thank you." And that's all they really want. And then with the homeless, that's a whole thing.
That's a whole scary situation.
Because especially how the homeless is now everywhere, and I'm not putting down people that don't have homes.
No.
But like you will literally see them doing like drugs on the side of the road. They're
naked.
I've seen people completely naked.
Me too. A lot more than I've ever wanted to.
Pissing, shitting. Like not even just sleeping, asking for a buck.
No, they're literally in the middle of the road. They're on the sidewalk, shitting on the sidewalk for our kids,
screaming at you,
yelling profanities,
saying they're gonna kill you.
Oh my gosh, one person did that to Cody when he was 3 or 4. They started to mad dog him, like look at him like, oh, like he's a threat, and I kind of pulled him closer, and he's like, what the fuck, and I was like, what the fuck are you saying to my 3-year-old, like. And he was like, Mommy, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. And luckily there's other people there. And so the other people put themselves between. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just like me in between Cody and this guy. It was like other people just like, because we were all waiting. So there was like a line, like we were all waiting to go into someplace. So other people like put themselves in between. Like, like guys put themselves in between this random human. And I don't even know if he was homeless or not. But people are fucking crazy.
Yeah, so
it's not even like a homeless thing.
Homeless. Like, I don't care.
I don't know. People are just batshit crazy nowadays. And you never know what you're going to get in the store or road rage or anywhere.
And this is in California.
Southern California, so...
And now they're just giving them high-rise $600,000 homes. So you can look at that reel we did, but yeah. Yeah,
we just passed a whole, like... thing earlier. It's a mini Skid Row.
Yeah, there's like a mini Skid Row
that's behind a Starbucks.
Behind a Starbucks, where nobody goes to that Starbucks anymore. Not even the drive-through. So I'm sure that place will close down soon. Yeah.
So, anyways, they say. So then he goes on to say, the following are the last questions I saw before my quote-unquote going home post. I apologize for not being able to get to all of them. So I also got rid of a bunch of them too, because we don't need to know every little thing that he says, because we already know most of it. So do most of the people of that time die, especially ones that currently have health problems?
Oh, you would think that there would be a lot of medical advancements and people would be living longer.
But remember, they said that they don't, that they only focus on children.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like that, like they focus.
It kind of
like,
went back.
Yeah, they focus on like broken bones, stuff like that. If like if you get the flu, it's like, well, I hope you get better, but they're not gonna put you on a ventilator or anything like that anymore. They're just like, this is your time to go. Sorry.
There's so many people in the world anyway.
Well, at this point, there was only like 3 billion people because
they probably still think that's too many people.
Yeah. So he says, some people are still dying, and a great deal of them are passing from CJD. As I said with my very first few posts almost 6 months ago, I want to emphasize how devastating this will be. I believe 2 people are confirmed dead in Colorado from CDJ with surgical instruments. The power of cheese milk does a body good, and beef is what's for dinner. because you get CJD from
Mad cow disease.
Yeah, kind of, but it starts that way. But they get it from the cow. It's a disease. Remember we talked about in the first episode?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's a disease where it's other animals. You get it from the animals that eat other animals.
Yeah, so it's like if a cow ate a cow, and then that meat would be contaminated.
Yeah.
To a point, and then you would eat it, and then you would get sick.
So he says, I've not tried any fast food. Thinking about where that food came from, how it was shipped and treated absolutely terrifies me. I have tried to tell people about CJD disease, and it seems to be catching on in Europe. And then he says, do not eat. I know. He says, do not eat or use products from any animal that is fed and eat parts of its own dead. And then he says that
seems like a good rule.
But we do. Pigs eat pigs, like it's in their mush and mash. So if you're eating bacon, you're eating one of these animals that could have this disease.
I didn't realize that pigs ate pig.
I mean, well, they're not like, hey,
I
here's
know,
a pig.
but I didn't
it's
realize.
Mashed up, yeah. And like you feed a dog hot dog. Never mind.
You feed a dog hot dogs.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that. I was thinking of hot dogs because there's so many different
hot dog. Okay, yeah,
like hot dogs. Like there's so much different meat,
but
in
it's
them.
not a dog.
No, but you could feed.
Yeah, it's a wiener dog.
I just put a bun on it and call it a day. No, but like the hot dog has so many different animal parts in it that when you're giving it to, if you gave like a wiener dog, like not a wiener dog.
If you fed it to a pig,
then it would be eating itself.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that was hard. I don't know why life was hard right then. And then he goes on to say the mad cow story has yet to begin. So this wasn't even, mad cow hadn't even come out yet, and he's talking about mad cow. Mm-hmm. So that's weird too.
Yeah. And that's a real, like
that was real.
Yeah.
Are you? And then he said, he was asked, are you still planning on broadcasting your departure over the internet? And he said, my father will be videotaping the departure. My primary concern is the anonymity of my family. In addition, my departure will be in a somewhat public place, and I do not want to draw additional attention to myself. And he just goes on talking about how a lot of people are like, this isn't real, you're not real, da 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 da. So there's a lot of talk about him just saying, like, trying to, like, he doesn't really care about convincing them, but just like giving analogies. Mm-hmm. So if I present a picture of a sea monster to you and I claim it's real, you are forced to argue its validity on the basis of the evidence that I present or create. Under these circumstances, you can't win. If you look at the picture and argue that sea monsters should have more teeth, or their incisors are not in proportion to the amount of fish they eat, it's easy to ask you how you know so much about sea monsters if they don't exist. Granted, you could point to a dinosaur skeleton and make comparisons, but I can still say it's not a dinosaur, it's a sea monster. In fact, I could even whip up some tooth marks on a piece of petrified wood and prove to you don't know anything about sea monsters. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, it can't be a sea monster because they don't have teeth. Well, wait, but you're saying sea monsters aren't real. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting because they're like, oh, this time travel isn't real. Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Well, why do you know so much about time travel if you don't think it's real? Like, why are you asking, like, so many questions about time travel, like, if it's not even real, according to the people that are asking the questions?
They're, like, trying to debunk it, but they don't know how.
Yeah. And then he says, honestly, I'm not upset about any of this, and the only emotion involved for me is joy. This is fun. It really is. And then we go on to say, I suppose that if you were interested in verification of boomer science, that you could go right to the source, Dr. Frank Tipler. He's a very pleasant gentleman. I highly recommend his book, The Physics of Immortality. I believe I made a reference to this earlier. So I wanted to keep that in because if you're interested in time travel, you should probably read Frank Tipler's book, The Physics of Immortality.
Okay.
It's highly recommended by John Titor. And then he says, he's asked, in your opinion, what is the smallest mass that can form a singularity? And he says, even Hawking suggested primordial singularities were created at the Big Bang. Were there planets or half planets around to form them then? And he doesn't really answer that question. And then he says, so then he finishes up his post. Remember, this is his final post. So he finishes up by saying, I also want to thank blank former member name for helping me with the email and everyone else who asked intelligent and insightful questions. I have learned a great deal. No, I do not have a secret agenda, but I have been paying a great deal of attention to your world line. My interaction with you was not a direct mission parameter, but it was a secondary mission protocol based on standing orders given to all temporal drivers. That secondary objective is basically to gather as much information about a world line based on a set of observable variables when we first arrive. Your world line met those conditions. What amazes me is why no one here wonders why Y2K didn't hit them at all. Bring a gas can when the car dies on the side of the road. Farewell. And that's it. Gone. Into oblivion. Never to be heard from again.
Huh. Bring a gas can.
Because of his analogy earlier, yeah. So, what do you think? Any credibility to his story?
I don't know. I feel like it's a fun story, and I feel like it's possible that there definitely could be time travel, of course. I do believe in that it's possible.
Yeah. But do you think he's real?
He's real, but I don't know. I kind of want to read that book he recommended and see how much of that book is in what he said.
Well, so some people have actually gone looking for John Titor.
He just disappeared.
Yeah. Some people have like looked for him. I mean, when he came, he was like 2 years old. And he came from his timeline of 2036. He should be like right now. He would be like 4 or 5 years old right now.
Based on the time travel timeline and everything that he did. Yeah.
He should be 25 years old. So he should be here somewhere.
But he would assume a different name, I would assume. Like maybe have a different name.
That's what I'm thinking
identity.
too. Why would he give his real name if he wants anonymity?
Or maybe now he's one of these scientists working on CERN. Or working on this, time travel. Teaching people how to do it.
Yep.
It's like, do you remember Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah, but I didn't really watch it too much.
So basically, just real short, it's just like a kid who was kind of a con artist, and he impersonated a bunch of different professions: a lawyer, a pediatrician, a pilot. And he did this at a very young age. I think he was caught when he was like in his early 20s.
It was based on a real thing, right?
Yeah. He started when he was, I think, 16 or 13. He was really young. But anyway, it's like he defrauded millions of dollars, like over $2 million. And then now, I don't know now, but like in the end of the story and interviews back with like Johnny Carson days and stuff, he was then working for the FBI and had his own firm, how to teach them
how
to catch people who try to do bad checks and fraud. So
That's
it's like
so crazy.
That makes me think that he did all of this, and now he's
the
teaching
one
them how to do the time travel.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be interesting. Yeah. So let's just for a minute take a look at this discussion that lasted for 5 months and how much traction it got in such a little amount of time. You look at like things like Reddit and stuff and anything, we have comments now, so it's easier to get comments and people discussing through comments. But these are actual like discussion boards. There was no Facebook, Instagram. There was nothing like this, like what we have now, where you can just do a quick comment like, hey, that's cool, whatever. It was actual like more like Reddit discussion boards, but even more discussion-y than Reddit. Even Reddit has like, you can be like, that's great, but people would it was like a thing. You got online, you had to sign in, you were a username, this, that. You didn't just go around being like, cool, awesome, like, don't like, whatever. So many people had discussions, like, were actively participating. And like, how did it get so much traction that quickly? What if he was all one person. Like, he had multiple accounts.
To make himself,
To make
quote unquote,
himself,
viral.
Yeah. And was talking back and forth to himself.
That would be a lot of work and a lot of effort.
Mm-hmm. What if, and then John Titor also came out in 1998 with all sorts of other predictions, including the Y2K bug that caused the mass hysteria about it. He's the one that caused it. That made everybody, like, aware, like, Y2K is coming, the world's gonna shut down.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah. Maybe he...
It had to be other people. That was only him?
Yeah, he's one, like, started it.
He's the one that snowballed it.
Yeah, that snowballed it. So maybe he was so effective the first time that he's like, let's fuck with the world again.
Yeah, what else can I get people to...
And, okay, so...
believe?
If John Titor's not real, that's all... Okay, he's not real, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, the internet didn't just make up this name and didn't just clackle, type. Somebody had to be behind the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly what John Houston wanted to know. John Houston is part of a hoax hunter website. It's much like what we do here.
Okay.
Investigate things.
Mm-hmm.
He said that Larry Haber, who was a Florida entertainment lawyer, who was also the person who was in charge of the John Titor Foundation that was created in 2003.
Right after all this happened.
He also looked at Larry's brother, Rick, who was a computer scientist.
Oh, okay.
So obviously he would know all the jumbo, like techie words to fool the internet in 2001.
Okay, yeah.
Except they swore this wasn't true. They were not the men responsible, and that Larry, who is the Florida entertainment lawyer, was actually John Titor's mother's lawyer.
Wow.
That's too close.
Yeah, that's really close.
Also, John Titor was a trademarked entity and has since been defaulted. Why would someone trademark their name unless you're Paris Hilton, Kylie Jenner? Those people did trademark their name. But unless you're going to monetize on it, like, why would you trademark a name?
Because the name was the business or the brand, not an actual person?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense. Was John, in fact, real and he inadvertently changed our timeline so we wouldn't go into a civil war? Yet, if that's the case, John needs to come back because we're dangerously close to a civil war now. You know, like, come back. So maybe he, like, fixed it all and we just don't even know it.
But didn't he say he can only alter things by a certain percent, though, too? And it was very small. So how much would he be able to change?
No, he didn't say that. He said that the timelines, that he could only diverge like 2% where he would land. He didn't say how much he could actually change.
Much, yeah.
So if John was a real time traveler, he wouldn't expose himself at all for the risk of changing things, right? Like, why would he do that? He doesn't want to change things. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't want to change things because that's like the number one rule in time traveling: don't fuck with shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so do I think John was real or fake? I want to say he was fake. I don't think that John was. I think the whole John Titor thing was a hoax. I don't think he was a real time traveler because I don't think that a time traveler would sit there and go on a discussion board to go find out about our timeline when the internet is there and he could just easily just ask questions.
Like, but he would already know the answers because he's already been there. Yeah,
there would be, you could go read books or like turn on the TV or whatever. There'd be no reason to like involve the internet. It just there doesn't seem great motive in it.
The fact that he was trademarked, the name was trademarked, it just sounds like it was just like a brand or something to sell.
Yeah,
just not like a actual
and maybe
person.
He didn't even maybe they didn't end up using the name like they wanted to because he was an entertainment lawyer. So maybe he made the brand. Larry Haber made the brand and wanted this John Titor character to come out in a movie, or he was like
that
prepping,
makes a lot of sense.
prepping for a movie, prepping for something to get it out there
and trying to put traction.
Yeah, and then and then that way when the movie came out, then it'd be like, oh wow, like is this real? Is this not? Maybe it was one of those like hoax types movies.
And it could be loosely based on that book he's recommending. Why that book? That's another thing that kind of...
So I think that John Titor was not real. I think that time travel is real. Mm-hmm. I think it could definitely be real, just not in John Titor's case. So, and this is why we are doing a summer of time travel. So we can't travel for the summer, so we will time travel instead.
We can't travel for this. We can.
I'm so upset. We're not traveling for the summer. We're supposed to go to the UFO convention in 2 days, but Heather didn't get the time off, and then she ended up getting it off. And then we were supposed to, so then I was like, fuck it, we'll just go to San Luis Obispo, and we'll just drive up the coast. It'll be so much fun. Can't wait. We decided against that. So I'm doing nothing.
There's also a Lake Arrowhead.
I want to go to Lake Arrowhead. I have all these vacations that I want. That everyone's like, no. So
we're trying.
I'm trying so hard. You have no idea, you guys. Like, no idea.
Well, she's trying really hard, and I'm just like, oh, well, let me know if you guys go. Maybe I'll go.
I want to go somewhere so bad. I'm getting like what is it, like travelitis or something.
You're getting cabin fever.
I'm getting San Diego fever. I need to get out of this travel location, this vacation spot, and move to another one.
And it's so funny because people come here to travel and we're like,
get us out,
get me out of here.
Yeah, but it's different when you live here. It's not as fun. Anyways,
yeah, we've already been all the places that people go, and
I do want to go to the La Jolla Cave steps. That's one place I haven't been. Anyways, well, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and stay tuned for next week as our time traveling adventures continue and we pick something else to talk about.
And please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And thank you to all of our new subscribers. We see you and we appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye.
It's so far away.
I know. How do I make this go?
Gosh, I don't know, because it's different. It looks different.
Why does it look different? Oh, finish.